Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. This time I bring you guys the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Troop Builder Hasbro Pulse exclusive S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent 2-pack. This one came out a while ago. For whatever reason, I just didn't get around to reviewing it. I've been stuck at home with COVID, so not much else to do. I'm thinking, you know what, why don't I take it a little bit old school? I don't typically, after a certain time window, I'll just kind of not review something. But as I'm putting a bunch of figures back away that I had taken out for reviews and stuff and just kind of piling up, I thought, you know what, before I put these away and try and figure out how to fit them into my display, why don't I just do a quick overview. I'll try to make it as quick as possible to kind of show you guys some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. This 2-pack was a really cool one and a difficult one to get. I think the scrolls were probably the most difficult. But the challenging thing with this one is it comes with 2 figures and 5 different heads, which doesn't make sense because even if you buy 2, you can't display all the heads at one time, and that sucks. And you couldn't buy more than 2 even if you wanted to. Like if you tried, it would not let you, it would block it, and that sucked. So it's just kind of those weird ones. So out of the 2 packs, I have one of the head sculpts that cannot be displayed, and it's going to be kind of the basic S.H.I.E.L.D. helmet there with the silver visor. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet. I was thinking, I could do if you have an extra S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but I have the one that came in the, I think it was the Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave for Captain America Civil War. So I already have, it's the same helmet, but a much better paint apps on it. So I already have one of those, because I did it with the Nick Fury. So I have the Nick Fury, I have the standard S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and I also did the Dirk Anger. Is it Dirk Anger or Angler? So I have those 3 different versions. But what I'm thinking I might do is if this fits on like a female body, maybe when the Quake and Maria Hill figure comes out, maybe I could throw this on an extra one of those and have a female S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So I'm going to test that helmet and see if it fits on like the Shriek body, the new female base body, to see if that works, and maybe that's something that'll work out when that figure comes in. We shall see. But let's get in for a closer look to see the accessories that each box is going to come with, because I have the 2 different boxes here, so you kind of throw off what to expect when if you have it, or if they release it ever again. So let's get a closer look at one set to see exactly what each box has. So before actually we get a closer look at it, so the boxes, right, there's these thin small boxes for the troop builders. It is plastic free. This is kind of some of the first iterations of plastic free packaging. Cool design on there. They came wrapped in paper, and that's pretty much it. So that's it for the package. Let's look at the figures. So here are the 2 essentially that you get. You get 2 weapons, you get 5 different heads, and then you have 1, 2, 3 extra pairs of hands to split between the 2 figures. So let's get in for a closer look at the head sculpts, the accessories, and then we'll talk about all the figures and all of that. Okay, so each of the 2-pack actually has 4 guns. So you get this one here, this rifle type gun. You actually get 2 of these, 2 of the same exact ones. This one's just kind of bent up a little bit the way I had it. But the sculpt of it is nice, just done in a black plastic color. Well, it's actually like a gray color, almost has like a greenish hue to it. It's kind of odd. I think it's just coming out black on the video, but in hand, it's almost like this super dark green. It's kind of weird. But the sculpt of it looks good. I like it. Then next we have this one here. This one is sculpted really nicely. Additional ammo there. Wish that would get a little bit of paint, but unfortunately not. But the sculpt of this is really nice. I like it. And then the last one, this one actually gets some paint on there. We get some red paint, which looks pretty good. This is sculpted nicely. This one's kind of futuristic looking. Pretty good there. I don't know if that's an ammo magazine. It's not removable or anything. It just gets that red paint. That looks pretty good. So out of the package, the hands, the right hand is a trigger finger hand. The left is basically like a trigger finger hand also. I'm not sure why there's some green paint in that hand. That's kind of weird. But these are the hands out of the package. Both figures are going to have those same hands already on them. Then the additional hands that you get, here is a left pointing finger hand. Here is a right two finger pointing hand. And then you get a left fist, so just one fist for the left. That's kind of odd, right? Did I lose one somewhere? I have to double check, because that's weird that we would only get one fist, right? But no, that's right, only one fist for the left. Odd, but I guess, you know, they're probably always going to have a gun on them. And then one set of hands, these are just kind of open holding hands there. So I guess it's, you know, two additional pairs of hands and one extra hand by itself. That's so weird. Why would he only come with one fist? Interesting. But I guess since it's a right, because the left, you always have the sidearm there. Oh, actually, I lied. So they have 6 guns. So they have these two. They already put them, already holstered them on the figure. These are those kind of the futuristic blasters. This is nothing new. We've seen this released multiple times. But you get 2 of these as well because I already had them holstered. So 6 guns in total. My fault for not including those. And then we get some additional heads. So here we have one helmeted head, just kind of black and blue. It's less detailed than what we've gotten before, but a nice silver metallic visor there. The original release of this same head sculpt actually had a gold visor, but a lot better paint details on there, if you notice. So a different shade of blue, but the silver paint along with some weathering to it made it look really, really nice. But it is the same head sculpt. Whoops. And then actually already on the figure, see we have the same one, but with the red visor. Again, they are the same. And then we have a few different head sculpts. So here we have one here. This is pre... Actually, this looks like it could be the photoreal print on there. So we have one. This is kind of an Asian agent there. And we kind of have our Latino agent, and that looks really good. This one's probably my favorite out of all the head sculpts. This one looks really nice. And then we have a black agent. Actually, this one's done really well too. I think the Asian one I don't like didn't come out looking as good, unfortunately. Yeah, but these look really good. Again, 5 heads for 2 figures. So, and then you were only allowed to buy 2 of the 2-packs. So one head ends up not getting used if you bought, if you ended up buying 2 of the 2-packs. So there are all the heads. You guys let me know down in the comments below which one is your favorite. Okay, and to give you a better look, there are all 5 side by side. But again, I think the Latino one, the Hispanic one, that one is my favorite. And then the silver visor is really nice. Then the African American, Asian, and then the red. So the red just doesn't really work for me, and part of that's going to be because of the paint. Like in the middle there, they just kind of missed a layer of paint. It just doesn't look as good. And then red just kind of odd over the blue. Like the silver really works, the gold really works, but for me the red just doesn't work as well. Okay, so here's going to be the test. So I pulled out the S.H.I.E.L.D body, which is the new female base body with the double jointed elbows. We get the more sturdy legs, the pinless knees, and everything. So I believe the upcoming Quake and Maria Hill figure is going to be the same exact body. I'd have to double check, I guess, but I think this is going to be our best bet. So I'm going to pop that head off, and I'm going to see if this helmeted head sculpt fits on there, and if proportionally it's going to work, because then my idea would be is if I have this extra head sculpt that's not going to be used when that Maria Hill and Quake figure comes in, then maybe I can do a generic female S.H.I.E.L.D agent, and technically it pops on there, but it looks bad. That does not look good. That's a bummer. Damn, that just it's too big. That sucks. I mean, you can fudge it, if it's like in the back of a display or something, but it doesn't really work. It's just a little too large. So that's just unfortunate. But it was worth a shot, right? Anyway, looking at the details of the S.H.I.E.L.D agent, these are essentially a repaint. So we're not seeing anything groundbreaking or anything new. In fact, we actually get less with these guys than we had gotten previously in that the Captain America Civil War Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave. So it was originally, labeled as a Nick Fury release. So you got Nick Fury head there. And this was our, our comic Nick Fury. But it also came with, the helmeted head sculpt, and then it had the Dirk Anger head sculpt. Dirk Anger, right? there. So looking at the comparison between these guys, there's a couple of things. The S.H.I.E.L.D. logo is a little bit different. We had a little bit of extra coloring in here. The new one's just white and black, whereas the old one was silver, black, with a little bit of blue in there. But the biggest noticeable difference is the shade of blues do not match, unfortunately. S.H.I.E.L.D. logo on both sides. And then look at the weathering along the white pieces. So lots of shading on there. We get this like turquoise metallic belt buckle paint, and then we got it on the buttons of the pouches. We get so much less paint on this guy. We just get silver buckles on the straps and everything, and then the buttons are not painted whatsoever and just done in a bright white. The weathering, the dry brush on there was a nice touch, because you know these S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, they're not going to be super clean, right? They're going to be kind of dirty and stuff, and so just so much more details on this guy on the old release than on the new release. But you know, with these troop builders, it's a cheaper, technically a cheaper release, so you know we're not going to get all that paint detail in there. And the other difference is you got these cuffs there at the wrists, which we don't get those now, but the glove, it's painted to look like a longer glove up to the forearm. So I actually kind of like the way this looks. I'm sure someone out there has probably switched all these straps and everything onto this newer one, because I like the blue of this one better than I like this one, but you know, this one still looks good. But those are the differences. And then the gun is a silver gun versus a black gun that is sculpted in. It's not removable or anything like that. Yeah, so there is the comparison between the two. Okay, so let's take a look at Articulation. It's Bucky Cap, so we all know what to expect, but I know sometimes you guys get mad if I don't show Articulation, or it has happened in the past. But he can look down that much, he can look up all the way, which is really good. You get full swivel rotation, not a whole lot of pivot going on. Shoulders can go basically straight out. You get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, whoops. Little gummy, but let me get that top one. So you can get that much bend at the elbow there. Wrist swivel, we have a vertical hinge on the left hand there. Vertical hinge on the right. So the trigger finger hands have the vertical hinge, which is great. The pointing finger also has a vertical hinge. The two finger out has standard horizontal, fist has the horizontal, and the two holding hands are both horizontal as well. So basically the standard, but the trigger fingers get the correct ones for wielding a gun. Ab crunch works out really well on the Bucky Cap, going back that much. Waist swivel in there, but that belt is kind of in the way. You can adjust that around as needed. Legs go out that far apart, can kick forward that far there. Does go back actually quite a bit on the Bucky Cap. Upper thigh cut in there, double jointed knee like so. You get a calf swivel right there. Foot that hinges down quite a bit, hinges up a little bit, ankle pivot, pegals at the bottom of the feet. And because it is Bucky Cap, he does have those tiny ass feet. Bucky Cap, I mean, it's going away, thank God. You know, the Vulcan figure in the upcoming X-Men Bone Breaker wave is going to be kind of the new standard body, and Bucky Cap will begin to be phased out. We'll still see it from time to time, but, you know, Bucky Cap was still really good for what it did. And if you guys catch the the Marvel podcast, Ryan Ting, Dwight Stahl, and Jesse Falcon were actually on the podcast, and they were talking about how to make Marvel Legends sustainable to keep the line going into the future. And one of the things that they had to do was to come up with base standard bodies as opposed to new molds for all these different figures. So when you make it, it brings a lot of insight into the action figures. And one of the things that they talked about was Bucky Cap, also the Hyperion mold and things like that. But the Bucky Cap is, in some ways, you could say Bucky Cap saved Marvel Legends, because what it did is, you know, it creates a base, right? So you have all these different comic action figures that use this body, and if you base it off of this scale, or you continue to use parts and pieces and things from this body, then you have a uniform look across different characters and different action figures. That way they all fit nicely into the display, they all scale well, and then it lowered costs for Hasbro to continue to produce more and more action figures. Now, did it get overused in the time since they created it? Absolutely. But at the time, you can kind of say it helped save Marvel Legends, which is, it's kind of interesting. You know, they didn't say that, but they said that, you know, as they were looking to develop new ways to make the line sustainable and to keep it going, you know, creating Bucky Cap was one of those big things that they did. And, you know, you can't hate on Bucky Cap because it's still a pretty good body, aside from the tiny feet. I hate the tiny feet. Sometimes a Bucky Cap figure will have bigger feet, but it's these tiny ones that just drive me crazy. But it's still a really good looking body. It just gets overused so much. And that's really my only problem with it. But yeah, just interesting little tidbit there. So now let's see him with some other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So the Nick Fury S.H.I.E.L.D. agent figure was not the only S.H.I.E.L.D. agent figure that was released. Long ago, in Dum Dum Dugan came in a 2-pack, I believe with the Hand Ninja. So we had this, there was 2 different versions. There was one with the Dum Dum Dugan head, and I think another with, it may have been a Nick Fury head sculpt. I'd have to go back. I've forgotten at this point. But those were kind of during the dark days of Hasbro Marvel Legends, where I think for 1 or 2 years they had only released 2-packs and didn't have any single release figures or anything like that. I want to say this was based off of a Toy Biz body. This might be the Bullseye body that I hear a lot of good things about. I really don't know. I don't know about Toy Biz figures too much. But it does look really good. Now, it does have some outdated hips, but at the time, this is what they were using, those ball hips, which were just kind of a pain in the ass to use. You know, you had to turn them a certain way to get the figure to articulate how you wanted it. It's just kind of a weird thing, and now, look at that, I've gone and kind of messed it up. Like, how am I going to get him to stand straight now? See, this is the problem with those ball hip joints. You got to, like, hold it in place. Now he's kind of standing. Oh, I guess that's not so bad. Proportions were pretty good. Not the best, but not bad. If anything, his head is a little bit small, but, you know, I think that's our only Dum Dum Dugan figure that's ever been released. But it's unfortunate that none of the blues match. That's tough. Now, the Nick Fury one and this one are close, but they're not the same. So none of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents match. So we shall see when the Quake and Maria Hill figure comes out. If that blue is going to match any of these. Hopefully it matches the Troop Builder pack. Hopefully. We shall see. I don't know. I'm thinking it probably won't be a perfect match. Okay, so there are the S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Troop Builder pack. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this pack? I like the Troop Builder packs. I think it's a great way for people that want to army build, and they can do, you know, they could buy up a few. They are a little bit cheaper. They're not a whole lot cheaper, but they are a little bit cheaper. But the problem has become that, you know, even though they knew people would be ordering multiples of it, it's gotten to the point where people order way too many multiples, or they limited it and just didn't produce the quantities necessary. Like the Hellfire Goons was a big problem, and they did a second run, and it was still bad. The Hand Ninjas, those sold out pretty quick. But I know at one point they did have them in stock. They seem to be the less popular amongst the other ones, whereas the other ones have the ability to kind of change and switch up things. You can have multiple characters, so it gives you the incentive to buy multiples. Even for like me, that's not a true army builder, but if I can build multiple characters out of it, I'm going to want to do that. So the Skull Troopers, the Scroll Infantry, excuse me, had 2 different heads, so you could do 2 different scrolls. Worked perfectly. S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, 5 different heads. So you could do 5. Well, I couldn't do 5 because they wouldn't let me buy more than 2, so I did 4. The Hand Ninjas, I still never even opened my second one because you can really only do 1 Hand Ninja. You can't really make it different like all these other Troop Builder packs. Even the AIM Builder pack, there were some things that you could do to kind of switch it up, right? I think. I'm trying to think now. Maybe there wasn't. But with these newer ones, it seems like there is. You know, when they have, you know, additional heads and things like that. When we first got the first Troop Builder was the Hydra Trooper. I think it was pretty minimal on accessories too. Maybe 1 gun and that was it. I think AIM, maybe the same thing, 1 gun and that was it. But the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, you know, took it to a whole nother level with coming with additional hands, coming with extra guns, and different heads. So I'd like to see more of these. You guys let me know in the comments below, what do you think they could still do for a Troop Builder pack? We've got S.H.I.E.L.D., we've got the Skrulls, we've got the Hand Ninjas, we've got Hellfire Goons, Hydra, and AIM. Is there anything else that they could do? I'm hoping for MCU. Give us some Chitauri, give us some Outriders. Give us both. I'd love to see it, but you guys let me know down in the comments below what you would like to see. Let me know what you think of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Army Troop Pack, S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent 2-pack. And then if you guys like the video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.